We'll have questions from you guys and provide answers from our side while communicating with each other and bringing several opinions about each topic that we will discuss.
Wait, did you all already have sessions with them?
Yeah.
Okay, so how sound they with you guys?
Yeah.
That's nice.
You have the opportunity to show them why they need to have a session with you tomorrow.
Actually, I didn't have a session with him.
Okay.
I'm gonna have another one tomorrow.
Okay, so,
Did
so
you
we
guys
don't-
prepare any questions?
No.
אולי כל אחד עצמו וישמע מה לעשות כאן ולא מסתכל גדול.
Okay, so my name is Ifat Judovich. I'm original from Israel. I live in New York and I do global growth. I specialize in networking, online, offline, and sales skills.
Okay, I'm Eleanor, and I'm a community manager by profession. And what I do in recent years is community-driven growth. So business development and marketing based on communities and to communities, and also internal or inter-organizational communities.
I'm Fatima, Israel as well.
And the same person.
You're seeing double.
I've been in the tech industry for the past decade. I also help with a lot of startups. I help them create marketing strategies and product marketing strategies. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And we
My name is Rishi. I'm from London, Israel. It's the
That's an incredible joke.
My background is basically running through startups. A few years ago, I started running incubators, accelerators in London. Majority, I like to work with B2B kind of startups that are looking to sell into large enterprise. So my background is a bit of marketing and sales, sitting in between the two, but basically helping B2B companies with large enterprise clients.
Hi, I'm Noah, also from Israel. I specialize in Asia and China, and I have a background of helping early stage startups up to round A startups, matching corporates to startups, and everything from branding and marketing to business development, not just in the Asia field.
That's good. So I'm Mark Kovacic. I do growth and content marketing for startups. This basically means that we help companies get more active users on their platforms. I'm a co-founder of an agency called Stardom.io. That's what we do with startups. And also the co-founder of Humans of Startup Nation, which is a photography blog for the startups in Israel. And I'm currently, this is new for I think everybody. I'm currently co-founding a new company which does like coffee bean delivery as a service. Yeah, it's weird, but coffee is important, so I want to dedicate my life.
I hope not only to in Israel.
coffee.
No,
is
no,
like
no.
salt.
What? Yeah.
And do you plan to A/B test on us? Because
One of you is going to get the delivery and one not, and we'll see if it will happen or not. And just as the last thing, the session that we're going to have together, we're going to have a session tomorrow and the day after together. So tomorrow we're going to have a session about free marketing tools for startups, basically tactics and hacks we use to grow our clients. And I want to say it's a 2-hour session, but last time it was like 4 hours, 6 hours. I don't know. It's a long session, and
You don't want them to come tomorrow. You're like,
like we'll reduce tools. And
We
on
split it, 2 sessions.
2 sessions. And on Friday we're going to do a session about how to build your growth team at an early stage startup and get to product market fit, meaning people actually love your product real fast instead of wasting a lot of money on products nobody wants. That's the truth. Sorry. That's it.
We do a workshop tomorrow?
Tomorrow and the day after.
It's a workshop.
Yeah. So,
5?
do you want each one of you to tell him a few words about himself and this startup? So this will be easier for us since he didn't sit with you yet, and I'm not sure who was lucky like I am to sit with all of you. And you can say just your name and like your startup in 5 to 6 words, like Fat was mentioning today in the marketing.
This is very important.
Yes.
It's a great way to practice the stories, the pitches.
5 to 6 sentences, right?
No, actually, it's just 2 sentences.
Keywords.
Two sentences.
Say
That's
it.
it. 6 to
Say it
7
as you
words.
do.
Essentially, yes.
I limited it to
Yes,
Facebook ad.
Okay,
That's
he's
it.
talking about Facebook ads.
No, this is the length. 6 to 7 words. It's how to best convey your message.
6 to 7 words is how to get convey your message, but you still need to convey your message on various platforms.
Okay.
sometimes
So,
But he actually didn't have a session. Did you have a session with him?
No, I had it with him and with her so far.
Okay.
So he's the perfect test case.
Alright, so hi everybody, I'm Andrea. I joined NH Farm in the industry for Zero, so manufacturing. I started with the team in April this year, so 4 months ago. The vision of our company is to spread lean manufacturing in enterprises as a methodology and to engage, empower people, line operator. This is the vision. The product is a way back, but that's where we're going.
That's it. It's great.
That's it.
Thank you.
Adriano, you're
Oh my god.
Oh,
I was prepared.
I was trying to take out 5 to 6 words from it. So it killed me.
Adriano in Chinese.
I
Oh,
tried
in
to
Chinese,
record.
yeah.
And Hebrew after. Just,
I did Italian.
And don't forget to localize the message.
so now, very rapidly, I'm Adriano. I'm the founder of Katamu, and we generate proof of authorship and protect the rights of creative people in order to help them spread their talents easily and without being worried.
great. You did it great. You see, you can do it if you want. Paolo, now it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm Paolo and we represent EasyRain, a startup that develops a safety system with the vehicles that is able to prevent and counteract the hydroplaning or aquaplaning phenomenon. This is the point, the biggest point of the pitch.
Marta, do you want to take yours?
Yes, hello everybody, I'm Marta, I work in digital marketing for Thinkin. And Thinkin is a big data analytics solution that tracks people and assets inside physical spaces such as retail stores or manufacturing companies with the goal of optimizing processes and strategies. What's the name of the startup again? Thinkin.
Alexa, you whatever you prefer.
So,
Yes, I'm providing the marketing in each one of you to do the
Okay, I'm Maurizio. I'm CTO and implementation engineer in Avanix company. Avanix uses analytics data and wearable device to prevent common issues about Alzheimer's disease patients at home. We help caregivers to deliver more responsible skills, care, and patient and family have peace of mind with our solution. And doctor can gain a more accurate feedback to optimize the therapy for the senior people.
I already have the game in my mind that I'm cooking for the next round. Okay? You're the representative. I see that you're.
Yeah,
You know that I'm representing already.
yeah, it's the same. We heard it.
You're the only one from the team?
No, I'm from the
Where is
Oh,
the shirt? Where is
just
the shirt?
sit each one of you in different place.
Where's
Okay,
the
since
system?
nobody.
This is how you pretend to grow. It's like, oh, your team is so big.
Yes,
That's like you're-
spreading all around the room.
We're missing one star.
So I think that it would be fun now, since none of you were explaining your startup in 5 to 6 words, to understand what each other understood about the startup. Now, because we want this to be a good, a good game, so you can like volunteer to say what the other startup is doing. Okay? So Andrea, you can tell about one of the startups, what they are doing.
I picked him just because, first of all, I know everybody, but the company.
it's very good because it's not a big challenge. You was talking for like 5 sentences.
Yes. And
So if you will say 10 words, it's already better.
I know Avanix because they do. Where's the English name of Chuchu? How do you call it?
Pacifier.
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 Right. So actually, you Avanix for the pacifier. Chuchu is the thing that kids put in their mouth. Chuchu.
Yes.
So anyway, what I heard was relatively new. So I need to tell what I understood.
Yes.
So I got across the Alzheimer, the doctor for better recipe management, and elderly people at home. And you start with the word we use data analytics. So it's a data analytics tool for targeting Alzheimer people, and the benefit is reaching.
It's not to target, it's to follow Alzheimer people. You're not going to target them. It's a personal device that you put on your body. I'm just explaining you because you don't know the company, and I obviously was sitting already in this company.
So that's what I got out of, I think it's...
Yeah, but
No, it's good
But
because
it's
what
good
we are doing, it's a mirror, like to help you understand how you are delivering your message. Yes, this is why I think it's a very nice, way. Do you want each one of you to say how would you define the startup in 5 words?
I already said with them. I already.
If you
Yes, and
yes,
the
so
message.
you're checking 5 words now.
But before that, the message that you were trying to convey is actually the longer 405 words story that we came up with. And Ray did get the core.
So you didn't get the call.
No, he didn't get that it was a wearable device, but he did get the core.
Let's say it was
buzzwords.
analytic to find people, not to follow people.
Hang on.
Wait, but is he defining the product for investors or for the marketing? How would you? Because if
That's
no,
exactly my comment was exactly that. And that's what we talked about earlier. That you should need to remember who you're talking to. So when you're
Right.
discussing, when you're presenting your startup to a very this is there's a lot of people here, and you don't know exactly who you talk. You should take it at a high level. And when you talk to doctors, you explain their benefit. When you talk to the families, you explain their benefit. So you know how to target each pain point very
So
specifically.
we believe.
This is a mixture. You
Yes.
don't know. This is a mixture. You take it to the high level.
Yeah.
Since Ifat was already sitting with you, I think this will be very good that you can feel from her the feedback of how she would present the company in 5 words.
Which is what we discussed earlier. So at the beginning, you start and you present exactly the high level. The fact that you have data-driven based. It's a wearable device based on data to improve the life of Alzheimer patients. That's 6 words.
but if you would sell to as a market, if you would do the marketing for like the end audience, like the C of the.
So there
So
are
would you, would you still say that?
No,
That's exactly what you said. The opening, what she's doing, basically it's the same approach. And
What-
it gives more words.
Exactly. And what we said earlier when we talked was for each audience, you provide a different message.
So how would you do it for the B2C? What would you say?
What is B2C? B2C could be doctors.
No, it says B2B.
It depends because doctors, I believe,
But
to begin with, I
there's
believe that we should get B2C.
they're like B2B2C because like the doctors are basically distributors for
Exactly.
you. So they're B2B for.
But
Well,
that's
yeah,
also
okay,
different.
Okay, Adriano, now you need to pick a startup that you want to talk about as a moderator.
Easy Rain.
Okay.
Okay, so they provide a solution to prevent aquaplaning.
Correct.
Yeah. That would be-
This is amazing. You did it high level for a mixed audience, and actually, I think that everybody understands what.
Unless you don't understand what aquaplaning is.
Yeah, exactly. Now
Which
I
is
use
kind
5
of
sentences. Yeah.
No, you don't use 5
Yeah, so
sentences. You just need to use.
Okay, so they provide a solution to promote safety in driving, in particular addressing a specific problem which is aquaplaning.
So they basically provide a safety tool
Yeah.
for vehicles on wet roads.
Exactly.
Thank you.
This is what I meant.
Really? That's a good thing. So we did great mind.
Okay, Maurizio, now you need to talk about one of the startups and to explain.
Another question.
Yes.
Go
it's for them. The very first day I was here, one of the guys in the staff told me about each and every startup was doing, and about you they said, do you know the mosaic effect?
Mm-hmm.
You guys know mosaic? Well, you should.
Yeah.
I said, wow. Mosaic.
Moshe, Hebrew.
Mosaic would be the Italian. You know mosaic effect? I said, yes. Well, we do the same for the wheel of a car.
Oh, that's
I like it, you know. I like this vision. You know, actually, I would use this vision like in
Yeah,
our
that's
website.
a
It's
good
not-
one.
It's impossible to forget.
That is a good one for a
Super
vision.
clear. So
Yes.
my question was, why don't you guys use that?
And everyone can
Because
relate to it.
they already store before.
Oh.
They use it, an important brand, they use this picture, so
And
we
the
are.
Bible.
Also, by the way, there's a risk, and it's interesting because when you work with big brands and you work internationally, you have to be really aware of something you're doing here might affect or offend a different culture. Because I think it's funny, but maybe like if you would put it in Israel, people will be
No,
offended.
wait, you're still in my next session.
Actually, I had the feeling when you said that you guys should, I said, oops, maybe I stepped too far.
So what we can learn from this is prepare. I mean, if we talk about audiences and adapting the message to your audience, that's exactly one of the things we discussed about. You have to prepare, you have to know who you're talking to. So if there's any cultural sensitivities, you need to come, but,
I said that now you're all staying.
so great minds. Amazing.
But I'll take you to the higher level.
Oh, yeah.
You have to prepare and you have to practice, Maurizio specifically. But this is very correct when you meet someone, or you will be an investor, when you pitch to, I don't know, potential partner maybe. But if you're thinking about it digitally, today, we don't really know who meets you, where they meet you, how they meet you, your brand.
I don't agree with this at all.
Exactly.
This is the
Yeah.
best.
You can't really plan for that. You can try to control it.
We have so much data.
And you have so many
We
ideas.
need money for this.
Once you're out.
This is
You
what the
don't have
money's
that
for.
before you're out.
So-
Okay, guys, we will go there. We are going now just to help them to do their pitch better in 5
Can I have
okay?
one small tip, which is like I think a tip you would actually say, but I'm
Okay.
good for me.
You can
So what you can do when you're entering somebody new, you can do something that also looks very civil. Is be the first one to say, hey, what are you doing? And that also first of all, you'll be the first one showing interest, and not just like, hey, I want to pitch you my shit, whatever I'm doing. And then after you get the answer from them, you know which pitch to use, right? And you can just like,
Yes, we were talking about it yesterday in my lecture. I already talked with them about it, obviously.
I know,
It was a really good way.
I just want to make this.
Yeah.
That's,
No, it's
so
okay.
smart.
But listen, all the things that you are throwing here, it's nice. I wanted to make this discussion clear so they can actually get value out of it. So the first round is actually to help them to phrase their vision into 5 to 6 words.
So-
That's it. Not culture, not
No, but
tools and
it's-
marketing.
it's-
Yeah.
One thing based on the back of that, actually, a really good way of doing it is when you have your calendar, like invite and send calendar invite, just put like the schedule of the call in there, right? So first of all, to learn a bit more about you, so you need to do the introduction, so that you get them automatically, you know, you put that in the schedule, right? So they start talking first, and then you can say, and then I'll follow up with my introduction, blah blah blah, and then whatever the rest of the agenda is. A really simple way, and then it just straight away frames it in their mind that okay, they start, they talk, and you can learn from that before then obviously scripting your messaging.
Yeah, thank you.
Take it away.
Okay, Maurizio, now you need to choose the startup and to tell us about it.
I want to speak about Touchmas to Andrea.
Opa!
The solution that they explain is focused on industrial plant. So I understand that they want to improve the efficiency on the industrial plant, collecting the data. That means that they improve the time to market and reduce the cost because the analytics made on the sensor could reduce the cost and better time also for the customer. Generation is correct, my message?
I didn't say on those words. Yes, that's a consequence. Yes.
So,
It's
Vic,
consequence.
you're sitting with
So
your
I understand the
Yes,
consequence. Yes.
You did? No.
I would ask
But
you
actually, I sit
because
with
you
that.
said lean manufacturing as a
Yes, it's a translation of lean manufacturing.
Yeah, so my question is, lean means in time to make
Time.
or making it affordable, what do you mean? We talk about
Exactly.
which
It
one?
means identification and elimination of losses.
Yeah, but the highlights is not, it's, what's the pain point for the user, for the client?
Does this
okay?
mean anybody can manufacture with
Yeah.
this, or does it mean that manufacturers, like company manufacturers can save costs over time? What does it mean in manufacturing?
So the benefit, actually, you're right, I take the point, lean manufacturing is so big, the supply chain is so huge, so it's specific production flow, so where the machines are, and the win, the payoff for the company is increased productivity, reduced cost, and better quality of the product.
So this is for companies who already have a production line and just want to make it more efficient.
Yes.
But I would emphasize the fact that reducing costs is one of the biggest pain points when it comes to manufacturing. And I think you're tackling it with a really interesting way. And so when you highlight that at the beginning, you start with the fact that it's for manufacturers, and then you highlight the fact that you reduce costs and you make it more effective is something I would start with at the first sentence. Because at the beginning the hook is really good by targeting that specific pain point.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. So, yes, definitely, but especially thinking about marketing and communication, that pay off, you can hear in like a billion start.
True.
So if we're starting with that,
But you're not starting
feature
with that.
that,
So
I will lose your attention.
no,
I believe.
unless
But you
you
are-
focus your target audience more.
Exactly. Because when you asked who is your audience, and you said manufacturers, that reduces it, it segments it to a specific sort of audience. It's not for everyone. And so you know exactly who you're talking to.
I actually have in mind Industry 4.0, so even if I stick to the manufacturing, that win is something everybody in somehow.
So wait, let's say for example, one of our clients were like a publishing tool for big brands that were how to monetize ads for really big brands. Like we wanted only sites that had above 5 million visitors a month. So when we did the marketing for this, we had to target like big publishers and major publishers, not just like how to monetize your content, which is very general. We helped monetize websites for over 5 million visitors a month, right? Or stuff like that. So making the 5 million visitors a month, that was the defining moment between any other company and that company. So when you say that a manufacturer in general, might be kind of blunt, but if you add like a type of manufacturer or like the complexity of the manufacturer in your tagline, then that would be differentiated.
I would suggest another way, which is who isn't your client. And when you take it from, when you start eliminating all those who are not, you're staying with this very, very specific segment based on pricing, based on, I don't know, whatever they manufacture. So there's a lot of variations you can look at and start eliminating. By eliminating, you get to the target, to the most specific audience your product is open for.
I take it and I think I know how to, so it's a
Combine, because what you said was really smart. Combine what we said and you get a really good answer.
With the powers combined.
With the powers combined. Because you can take any property, so it can be manufacturers who spend over X amount of money a year. You can be about X amount of machines per year, etc. And that's how they know that you're the perfect, because that's the next question everybody has, like, is this for me? So start with is this for me?
So I take both, and one more observation. The way I pitched, and typically, when I say, okay, what is in five words?
I love the way that you did it by vision. I totally support it. I think that it's a good way, especially if you are coming to a mixed audience where you're not sure who you are going to talk to, and you want to do it like very high level, and just to inspire and to make them curious and ask more questions.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. See, Industry 4.0 manufacturing is not as exciting or as cool as other fields. So,
But I think what
You
you
need clear, because if I work in an industry, I don't really care if it's cool or not. I care if you answer my needs or not. Like being scared of being trendy or cool, that's a disease startups have. But if I have a need, I just need to cure it. Like
I don't think that he meant cool in like you think cool. I think he meant like in a clear way, and correct me if I'm wrong. And I think that what's important, and I'm taking it from what you were saying, is to catch the right people in the crowd.
Right.
which means even if you are not sure there is relevant people in the crowd, you still need to be in a way that you express yourself and tell about your vision in a way that someone that is relevant would say, I want to hear more about it.
But it's really good that it drives me to the first question,
So-
the next one.
Yeah, because what that vision is to get that interest. As you say,
Exactly.
you've got the sales pitch, which is the next step, right?
Exactly.
So then you come in and then you illustrate.
Exactly.
So
So I
you-
can purposely say the vision because I hope in
Yeah.
this occasion and in other we drive, okay, tell me more.
So the
And
word
then
in
you
English,
go,
there's a word in English, enticing, I think.
Yeah.
It describes the best. Enticing
It's like the
is,
lure, putting the lure around.
yeah, it's like
You
a
get-
small hook you want to, it's like
You
you're
want
spreading
that.
breadcrumbs and making them come to you.
right,
Because
Right.
essentially what you want to do from that thing
right.
is get them to give you a question that you already know they're going to
Yeah.
put, right? So you know what they're going to ask based on what you say, so that you've got the next answer ready, right?
And then
So,
I can take
it's
their
like saying-
input and be
Yeah.
in 10 words, but see, spot on.
By the way, if you use our tip, then we owe 10% for That's it.
And it's by the word.
So to summarize,
Lesson
each,
Right? She said 5 to 6 words, but basically for each word, take a percentage of your company.
That's a businessman, ladies and
So to
gentlemen.
summarize, just to be sure understood, it's okay to pitch with a bit of a vision that should
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah.
Yes.
a bit
I
of
was
sense.
pitching only vision when I was talking about my startup, and my startup was a chatbot. I never used the word chatbot. My vision was DFH, digital friendly hotels. That's it. Okay? You don't need to go down to what you do. You need when you're
Enticing. That's exactly what.
Fantastic. And then when I get the question back, I can use maybe 10 words and be
You
more
can use it
specific.
Exactly.
because then you do
You
the
should.
sales.
It's not you could.
That's
You
me.
should.
Don't do a lot of name dropping. That's what we're trying
Name
to say.
dropping.
Name dropping, using chat spot and
Buzz.
verticals and big ones,
Buzz.
big words, yeah.
Name drop your clients.
No,
Yeah,
wait.
the big
Yes,
ones.
because some of the investors do love the fact that there are buzzwords, that you're on point. It doesn't have to be sexy.
Yeah.
For example, insurance.
Yeah, I
or
don't
fintech.
agree
It
about
doesn't
it.
have to be.
If he's saying
like-
him, it's interesting. I think that
It
actually
depends.
if it's like defined what you are doing,
Yeah.
why not?
It should be
And
relevant.
if it
Above all,
defines
it
it
should
not
be relevant.
clearly enough, that's even better because then they'll ask again and they'll want clarification. Because that's
Exactly.
the door opening for
I
you.
I would
do
actually
agree that it
invent a
doesn't
word.
have to be that buzzwordy. It's like, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be like bots for IoT with a
No,
third
but then you have to
generation.
come across as you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have a look, this is probably useful for everyone, is to have a look at, there was a article about a sales deck from Zuara, like Z-U-O-R-A in the US, and they broke it down into like every part of it and why they did part of it, and it was like, sell the vision first, that gets this.
Send it. Just
Yeah,
we should
and
just
then
share
that,
Send it to all of us.
yeah, well,
No,
something
I'm
around
familiar
that.
with it.
But then
Don't send it.
it provides the next step, and this is why this follows up nicely to that, and this follows up nicely to that. It goes into more and more detail, but it creates a story, right? So your pitch is a story. You want that to really flow nicely, and it was a really nice one. And they broke it down. So I'll send it around.
I'll send
Sure.
Z-W-R-E.
Z W O Z-U-O-R-A, I think.
Z-U.
Z-U-O-R-A.
Okay, Marta. Now your turn to pick one of the startups and tell about it.
Okay, I will choose Batamu. And Batamu is a solution that ensures property or ownership of intellectual works.
I think your message was very clear.
Yes, it was.
You provided the lead and the answer in a sentence. It was really, really nice. And moreover, since the need is very clear, I already know if it's relevant for me or not, whether I create content or not, if I'm a potential client or not, or if I can connect you to relevant people. By the way, when you talk to someone, you never know who you're talking with. So maybe it's not relevant specifically for
This is exactly what I was saying yesterday in my lecture.
but I have a lot of friends, and I think that us in Israel as a culture, we always think about who we can connect to each other. We're great connectors, so you never know who the person in front of you is. So you need to start with it. Exactly. So
Circles.
good stuff, good things happen. You never know when it's gonna happen. So always be prepared with that. Always have that elevator pitch, that sentence, that's something that's high level, that is enticing, because you don't know where it's gonna come from.
I also have.
I want to say
growth
something,
videos.
Roy, about what you were saying now. Whenever people are asking you what you are doing, instead of telling them I'm an entrepreneur, I'm the CEO of Patamo, which is, it won't mean anything. You can say I'm creating a solution to protect, just to use this sentence about what you do. And then when you meet a new person, you're doing the pitch without he knows that you're doing a pitch because you just explain what you do.
I'll give an example. I was working at a cyber company. It was a B2C cyber company. Now, everyone who is in the cybersecurity area are all B2B. So once I just said I was working at a B2C cyber company or cyber startup, it just clicked because why is it B2C? It's all B2B. And that's that exactly small quote that is relevant.
As well, like not things like once you've done that little pitch, you can follow up with a small example, right? Of like, for example, helping this person
Yes, it's a
see
great
that, right?
idea.
And then what that does as well, it creates a perception of your clients in their mind. So without having to say, oh, we target these industries and this kind of person, right? Or this size company, you can give a name or example of what that kind of company looks like, and then give an example of how they use it, right? So then something already embeds in exactly how it's going to be used or by who.
It's a great common feature. I want to tell you for you can say, for example, it's very good actually for gamers that are creating new games since it protects the game from being copied, etc.
Yeah.
Okay?
I also think that two things you need to really know before you go to that game is, first of all, really know who your competitors are, because a lot of the time people are so focused on their products that they don't know what their competitors do. If you don't know what your competitors do, you will never have a really amazing pitch because you'll be in the middle. So she, like, Fred's example was amazing because she's like, I know all my competitors are doing B2B. So even the word B2C was enough to differentiate me, right? But if she didn't know that, then she would have to find like a really niche word in the cybersecurity world that she could learn super easily because she knew where her competitors are. And the second thing is like, know who your buyer's persona is, because that's the next step.
We talked about it today.
Amazing. So basically, by knowing who your buyer's persona is, you can build 2 or 3 examples of who your competitors, who your target audience are. So for example, you say that we help artists protect copyrights. So for example, if you're a new photographer and you're building your website and afraid of people stealing your photos, then you can easily add this and protect your or your screenwriter. Right? You know, and just to give those 3 examples, they will be one of the categories. If you build the right buyer's persona, they will be one of those categories, and they will have the coin dropping saying, oh wait, I need this. So for example, what I already know that I want to tell you, and I'm going to say it now even though it's like a wider forum because I don't forget, is your best growth hack should be scraping sites like Behance, Bandcamp, all the websites where artists go and they put on their materials, scrape it for their emails, and send everybody an email with your shit, saying this is what we do. Or just target them with Facebook ads, like protect your screenwriting, protect your
But
I do want to relate to the customer.
I just want to say something small regarding to what Roy said. Something that I found very not attractive with startups and startup pitches and startup advertisement is using negative words by doing that leverage what they do best. So try to emphasize what you do good and not what your competitors do worse.
No, but we're talking about that.
No. It was like
On the competitors or
Yeah.
on the target audience?
the target audience.
No, but he should definitely do like, afraid of somebody stealing your photos, use this. That's the
No, she was talking
I
about
was just
your
saying that,
competitors.
that be
Okay.
careful not to trash talk your competitors.
I want to relate to the competitors
I
thing.
understand.
I want to compare the competitors is a really good thing because sometimes you're in the blue ocean. Sometimes you're the first one and you need to educate the market. And so you need some examples that even if they're not exactly what you do, it can help people relate. On the other hand, if there are a lot of startups in this or a lot of companies similar, someone will say, oh, you're like, and then you'll have to know why you're better. You'll have to know why you're different. You'll have to know why your solution is relevant to the person you're talking with.
Which
unlike
value it's
all
adding.
other companies. So you really have to know who your competitors are, if any.
And I just want to say about competitors, I think that for everything there is a competition. And I will make it even more clear. For example, what Thomas Edison was inventing with the light, there wasn't a light before. So yes, because the solution, the competition is about solving a problem. And what was the problem that the light is solving? Darkness. And which tool was before? There was the candle. So, in some way, the candle is a competitor. In some way.
I
Okay?
want to see the pitching deck and say, where are your competitors? Fire is my competitor.
I was about to say that,
That's
exactly.
amazing. I was
The sun.
Yeah.
But it means that there is a real problem. This is why I think that defining the problem is much more important than
Right.
defining the solution. And you know, I always say it about like an umbrella. So which problem the umbrella is actually solving?
getting a getaway after the sun.
Yes, exactly.
Ah.
Not like, but it's actually to get dry from one place to another while there is like rain or other
Or
ice.
not get too tanned if it's in the sun and the sun is really, really strong.
Exactly. So to protect yourself from nature
In
elements.
general.
I want to stay on the sun thing because I want to see the pitch deck saying like the SWOT for like the sun. Like the sun is good, but it has like 12 hours. The other one like cold darkness. So I can solve this. I have a product for the other 12 hours.
Exactly. Listen, guys, because I know that you are limited on time and you are very anxious to do your things, it's important for us to be useful for you. So please feel welcome to now just, you know, to try us and ask any question that can bother you, and we can pick it or one of the other people that is in the room, because I think that the beautiful thing about this community of HR is that you can use each other, and this is something that I really want to increase. Being here for 6 times and doing the teams are not really talking with each other.
Please do talk to each other.
Yeah. Spend like when you eat together and try to eat together. I would sit next to different people, not from my team, when I go eat and discuss each other's problem, because there's a thing on how creativity is built is about knowing a lot of different points and a lot of different knowledge kind of areas. So I think that just by introducing the problems to somebody who's not doing the same kind of role you're doing, you're going to get much more creative answers.
I think the example was the game that we played earlier. That
Yeah.
each one of you was helping the other
Mirror their
to tell his story, and you should use each other. And actually, when I was teaching you yesterday about the cold email, and I told you test it on someone else to see how long it takes to read it, and if you will pick this mail, you can use each other. Would you answer this kind of mail?
Right.
Would you want to meet this kind of person? The power of community is very strong. I think they understand it much better than I am, but still, it was important for me to bring it here as well. Do you have any topic that you want to ask us about?
I had a small question regarding the fact that when you want to, like your B2C thing, like when you want to put a hook, which is
Differentiator.
differentiator. So what if this hook, that is a differentiator, it's understand? No, I mean it's too complicated to explain the beginner. Like you have a quality, it differentiates you from the other competitors, but explaining it is complicated.
So is that another pain, or you have to work harder on explaining?
Or start with an example. Start with a story.
Yeah.
If you have a really good story,
Yeah, but I think that if you can.
I consult your story because I was sitting with you and you didn't have the chance yet. So, for example, what I would do if I had to explain why you have a differentiator over other companies that are protecting, I would say my differentiator is technology. We are using 2 techniques together.
Yes, this is what I was actually.
I agree with Louis, the fact that it means you need to work harder. So you need to find the right way to solve this, whether it's a great story, whether to simplify what you're trying to say. Maybe you need to.
I will simplify.
It means you need to work on it.
But
more.
I also want to point something, because you said that the differentiator that you're using 2 technologies, right?
Yeah.
Combined.
Combined, yes. But let's say that I'm your target audience, which is a photographer, your target audience, or a musician. I don't give a shit.
That's the point.
No, I think that your comment is
It's correct.
strong one. It's correct, but it's always, we can go back to what Frat was teaching you today about the audience.
Yeah.
I was doing it now in high level. If I'm talking to someone that is not in high level, obviously it's not relevant.
I'll give you an example. I'm now consulting a company, and they have different customers. One of them are HR, a very high-level HR people, and thank you. Not all of them. I mean, I'm not sure if Rishi is going to come back.
I mean,
Anyway, not all of them are tech people. Some of them, technology might come across as something too complicated, and it might distract them from the real solution the company is providing. So, we all I think, agree that you need to come prepared to the
for
people.
both situations.
Yeah.
So you need, to
Yeah.
sum it up, you need the high level for the situations where you don't really know who's listening or reading or.
Honestly, I would always begin
With the
with
question.
the question of who you're talking to.
Yeah.
But you need to have. I think everybody needs to your most popular version of your pitch should always be crazy simple, because even when you meet
Keep it
somebody
simple.
even if you meet somebody in tech,
And
you
then
know, even if you meet
yeah.
somebody who knows technology, like you want to get like the human version before you go into the tech version.
By the way,
Short
this
and
is
simple. I think that my best speech is by explaining my parents or my niece or my nephew, which
Yeah.
is 6,
See what they get.
what the technology does.
right.
Try to explain the person who has the less knowledge and understanding of what your product do. I think by doing that, you can achieve amazing things. And I think that Fiverr has a really good video I'm going to send you about how to pitch and why to pitch and who to pitch for. And I think it's an excellent video explaining how to overcome those difficulties.
By the way, the fact that you're going to explain it to your mother, your aunt, your teacher, whatever, is a lot of practice. So each time you practice, you gain more. And it'll come to a point that you'll know it by heart. It's going to be so, I won't say easy, but as you'll know it by heart, you can adjust accordingly because you have enough confidence to adjust it. So you know who you're talking to, you've been through it a couple of times, you've tried it on different people who react differently. So you already know, you have a sense of what to expect in response.
And also, that when people ask them what does your kid do, they will stop saying something with computers, which is nice. Which your parents know. So next time when if somebody asks your parents like what do they do, you'll find out your answer that's like computers.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
That's really good.
It's okay. When I was entrepreneur, my parents were saying she's wasting money if she's unemployed. So
That's what that was
I think
it.
that's it. As my second hat here, which is Asia and China, and I talked a lot about having a new market and new rules and language barriers and different culture. I think that one of the blessings and the curse that we have with the tech industry, that it's a bubble. So it's very easy for two techies to use a language that only they understand.
and not necessarily. Sometimes they talk with each other and they don't impress each other, and each one is
Yeah, I'm not.
the TP.
Yes, like that.
And you don't know
That's
asking.
driven
Oh, so you
IoT.
don't know about the
The
SI.
KPIs with the IST is but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about two basic techies, talking about basic, I think, words that most of us understand, but once you need to do the same pitch in a different country, let's say China. I don't know why. China just came up to my head right now. It's different. It's different. So if you use the same pitch with the same buzzwords, sometimes your storytelling or the way that you pitch or the way you present yourself and your body language needs to be totally different. So by applying all the tips that you got here today and all the different ways you can practice, actually it can make you more prepared to those kind of situations. So it's like, be open-minded. Be open-minded.
That's a great point, and it doesn't have to be China, because even
No, I
Americans,
just
no, but
country.
even Americans, it has to be
Today it
China.
has to be China.
Even Americans, for example, when Israelis come with a lot of enthusiasm, it might come across as abrasive, as
Arrogant.
rude, as arrogant. So it doesn't have to be very different
Yeah.
type of culture. It can be very close to you. I mean, German and French, British and Italian. Each one has their own specific. So if we talk about practicing and understanding who your audience is, you also need to, when you step out of your comfort zone, know who you're talking to, and make sure you know all these small gestures. I think it's a great point.
I want to add something about how practicing is important and how far along you should go with it. Is that remember that every time you perform, right? If you are stepping out of your kind of limit or your attention span, then if you're not rehearsed enough, do get thrown off really easily. But if you practice so much to the point where you can say it in your sleep, and not just remember it, understand it at such level which you can like say it in your sleep, that what it does is it sets up, it basically frees a lot of your attention span while you're in a conversation or a pitch or whatever you're doing. It frees up a lot of your attention span to notice other things. Now, one of the most important things, you can do that as digitally or you can do it face to face, is recognizing as much details and micro expressions and micro like positive conversation as you go. So if you're pitching, you're so focused on getting the pitch right, you're not going to get important things like how are they reacting to your pitch, were they really paying you attention, were they smiling, not smiling, what their body language was saying. So if you're so focused on your pitch, what happens is you become focused on you. And the worst thing you can do in any interaction is be focused on you. Instead of saying, what can I give or what value can I give in this interaction?
This is the topics that we talked about yesterday.
It was
with
very
guys.
Buddhist, you know? It sounds
Eyes
like
and
very
smile.
Dalai Lama.
It doesn't matter language and cultures,
Wait,
as
sorry,
long as you
I
smile.
What?
Yes, and grab.
I thought you were saying practice many times to bypass emotional reaction. Did I got it right?
No,
So
bypass,
to
no,
communicate with
you have to practice enough so you will not spend any attention span right from yourself on thinking, on teaching or explaining what you do.
That makes sense.
You need to understand that. Yes.
The energy.
Yes.
I want to add to that when you know your pitch apart, you're very confident
Right.
and you're
It
very
shows.
calm, and it shows exactly. And if we talk about the fact that it doesn't have to be related to me, but I might know someone, so I might not really understand the technology, but you look like you're confident enough and you know your shit. So I'll recommend when I talk with someone else, I'll keep it in mind because it's memorable. People who are confident about what they're doing, people who are calm, who know what they're doing, it's something that people remember.
Guys, recommendations is a good one, cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is anecdote an English word? Anecdote?
Yeah, that's
Okay, so
It's an Hebrew word enough, so we get it, so that's okay.
interesting. No, actually,
Which one?
so
Anecdote.
anyway, I have an anecdote.
But it's a show notes.
No, I know, but
You might know it in the
it's it's close enough.
Does anybody know Guy Kawasaki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an influencer. He used to work for Apple. Anyway, he said that Steve Jobs used to practice 100 times his
Yeah.
speeches.
Yes.
And then he said, and he's Steve Jobs and you're not. So,
Right.
so build-
No, by the way-
He did it in order to look like very easy. I just got out of bed.
I just
and
want to
I'm-
say
and I'm
something
doing
about
it
it.
like this.
So it goes along what he said.
Yeah.
Practice.
You have to practice.
Yes, and Rob, but I want to tell you something about it. That you have to understand that for each one of us, it will take different times to practice.
Right.
For example, someone needs 100 times, someone needs 1,000 times. And for example, for me, I don't like to practice at all. I love to come and just talk. Because if I'm practicing, it
She's
makes me...
looking on the edge.
Yes, for me it's different. So everybody, so don't take it like
Yeah,
a
but
test on
it's not-
yourself.
But the fact that you are talking a lot, even though you're not preparing,
You are practicing all the
it is
time.
a practice because you do
Yes.
it in front of an audience, different audiences, different countries. That's sort of a practice.
And
you see the
different
reactions,
topics.
you see the questions.
I'm talking about a lot of topics.
Whether you practice improvisation, it's still a practice. You still do. You invest the time.
Exactly, but I want to make an example. I just joined the company YCD, the company that I just joined in the US. So a month after I was in the company, they sent me to a very important partners conference, and they had to pitch for 30 minutes, which is a lot of time about the company that I understand nothing about. I'm not techie at all. Like my younger brother is downloading apps on my phone in this way, and we were like pitching for the sales people of this company to sell our startup or our company. So I had 30 minutes and my boss was providing me a deck with 46 slides, and instead of reading the deck before, I was in Facebook during that time that I was waiting to be on stage, and I will tell you that luckily the computer wasn't working. So I was like doing it, and they just want to share the story in order to provide you the confidence that you can do without a deck representation, and you can do even if you don't have like a background, and if you know exactly what you are doing,
Yes.
so you can pitch it. So I was pitching it like in 2 minutes, and someone was asking me something very technical, which I don't know, and my reason is saying, great, listen, this is a great question, and I have to admit I'm a CPA, so I'm good with numbers. What is your phone number? I will call you with CPO, and we'll get you the answer, and that's it.
I would love to, if the situation was like, no, I asked what's the name of the company. Oh.
Let me come back to you.
Let me go back. We're figuring this out. We're gonna
Give me your mail.
Actually, one of the best things that you said was the guy Kawasaki story. I think that as an entrepreneur, doesn't matter what aspect of what you're doing, wake up in the morning and remind yourself that you're not Steve Jobs. No, really, because you have to be confident, but you have to be very humble. And eventually, you have to remember
Yes, this is good.
that the more you feel or act as if like you are a know-it-all, you're actually limiting yourself. If you said this thing I said earlier was like Buddhist, I'm gonna go really hardcore on this. There's a thing called Zen mind, beginner's mind.
Yesterday, in the lecture, I wanted to because it's about it.
It's
So be modest, and also you weren't yesterday. So I was saying, always come for advice, because if you're asking for money, you get advice. So always ask for advice. Maximum you get money. It's nice.
Sometimes the front door is just like, hey, you know where your street is, and someone just takes out the one like, here's the spot.
Wait, now I really want to quote that line
Where do I
over here.
find now?
That he says, once you're in a conversation and you're quiet, you can hear the other side.
By the way,
So start trying to do so. I know it's hard for us.
Double
to
layers, one
be
out. We talked
quiet,
about it yesterday.
But try to do so. So from time to time, because I figure out that it's the best way to fully understand what's the other side.
I'd like to add to that, because if we talk about know your audience and ask a question, people love talking about themselves.
Yeah.
So
I was
once
talking
you-
about, this was my presentation yesterday, know your enemy, and I was talking about it 2 years, 1 mouth, listen double than you talk,
Yeah.
and
So
then
once-
interview them.
Once you go quiet and just
I love this situation because we're all talking about like this and that. Like we're all good.
We don't know each other.
Each
We
other
don't know
for
each other
for
from
things.
Instagram. We met here
We're all
now. So this is why we're not socializing.
We're like listen to others. Like each one of us had something and he's like with his hand for like an hour. And we're like listen to others. And we're all
Speak for yourself. I'm sitting here quiet for listening to you.
But we're a team. I'm keeping us a good team.
Yes, Andrea, what's your question?
You want to finish your point? You want to finish your point?
No, I'm good. I think it's very clear.
Well, mine passed away a couple of minutes ago, so I was back to back. I was actually wrote the book. Yeah, it's a very good book. It's funny, and it gives a lot of advice that just keep going. And you are not Steve Jobs type of thing. So you have to start teaching and evangelizing and evangelizer, which is sorry.
That's affiliate marketing.
Body first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now everybody lost what I was thinking before because we all
Good story, though. Everyone are quiet
No,
now.
I think it could be really good for entrepreneurs that the name of the book would be "You're Not Steve Jobs."
Yes.
It's like 12 things you think you're good at and you're not an entrepreneur. And
This is a very nice post. You should do a post.
Yeah, and it's only like you feel good for vanity, right? You just think you're good at something. Every time you feel like you should build confidence, but every time you go ahead and feel like I know my shit, ask yourself, do you really know it? Or did you just like build this story up in your mind that you're good at A, B, C, and D? Now, if you're not good at it, it doesn't mean like be discouraged or give up. It means like go into situations knowing that you know nothing about and allow yourself in the room, in the conversation, admit to you and maybe the other person that you know nothing about. So what I was saying.
Exactly what I was
Yeah.
doing in my
So-
book. I don't know.
So the thing is, the
There's
quote
no
about the
shame in
Zen mind, beginner's mind, which is a really good book about Buddhism and meditation, is that when you go into a situation and you kind of feel like, I know this, and you're looking for the additional information that you don't know, what happens is that you come into a situation already focused on a very specific piece of information, and you're running around a piece of information. But when you come with a beginner's mind, saying, I don't know shit, then you don't come in zoomed on the picture, you can actually see the whole picture. Right? And based on what you're experiencing, you can actually focus on different areas. And also, if you come in not as an expert, but just like in a beginner's mind, you can ask anything. So just
Ask
to
for advice.
yeah, so just to sum up my too long answer, with a personal example, we were running a Twitter ad campaign for a client, and because I think I'm quite well known in Israel for what I do. Quite not yeah. Say that without being right. Okay.
He's
so,
being modern,
so
worldwide.
for me going into like a forum, like a Facebook group, and saying, hey, how do you do this in Twitter ads? I didn't do it because I felt like, no, if I ask this, it will damage like my brand. But that's a stupid idea because eventually what happened is that we took us too long to get the answer we needed just because I was not going to the beginner's mind. I was like, no, wait, I'm supposed to be the expert, so I can't ask anything.
Yeah. And
Right.
then other people feel comfortable asking questions too.
Right. And then like you lose clients. No, you
I
know.
always say that, adding to what Toy said, that if it's too easy, you should be worried.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. If it's too easy, you should be worried.
Right.
Everything you do in your startup, if it's too easy, you should be worried about it.
You guys made the t-shirts, right? I bet it even then it was complications. How many drafts did you send?
No. This was like a 5-minute draft. It was, so we should be worried. This was like this is a improvisation.
Yeah, be very scared.
Be very scared now.
Yeah.
Any
Especially
other,
with the tagline there.
Exactly.
any other questions you guys would like to ask? Any other topics? Alright.
Yes, we do eat everything with hummus in Israel.
No, we don't.
No, we don't direct.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
I don't hate it, but I don't need it. Anyway, we're still here. I'm living in an hour and a half. So if you want to get advices and such,
I'm still here, away, but
I'll be gone, but you can ask them.
yeah.
let's go to the cigarettes. I lost my patience. Okay.